Welcome to Armchair Expert. I'm Buck Rogers, and I'm joined by Space Galaxy champion Monica Brand.
Oh, my God. Another champion.
Another champion. I wanted you to label me a state champion the other day, and you're just not going to do it.
No, because you aren't.
Right. That's a good reason.
So I can't.
My new buddy, I should say, not my good buddy, my new buddy, Rob Corddry is here.
That's right.
He and I are on Top Gear America together.
Yes.
And we were in Sedona, Arizona, and we captured him with a net, and we drug him to the house.
That's right.
And we had our first in-person.
It was so fun. We haven't had an in-person in months, and it really felt nice.
Yeah, boy, it was really nice to be able to look someone in the eyes while we were chatting with them. Had a different energy, back to the energy I love.
Yeah, the OGN.
OGN. OGE.
Yeah, but it's kind of a play, a double, get it? Because
yeah.
it's short for energy, but it's also a letter.
Oh, my gosh, that's so smart. Okay, well, listen, you know Rob Corddry from The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. Children's Hospital, a show he created and produced, Ballers, Hot Tub Time Machine, and he and I and Jethro Bovingdon will be on Top Gear America soon, so look for that, and please enjoy Rob Corddry.
He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert.
I'm going to run you real
A
hot.
lot of treble. I need a lot of treble.
Oh, you want treble. I long for bass.
You want some bass.
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 Well, gang, this is a fun impromptu recording with the ever-talented, beautiful, handsome, strong, generous Wob Corddry.
Be calved.
Wobby Corddry. You know what's exciting about this is we work together.
Yeah.
I'd count you as a friend.
Yeah.
I know very little about you.
Ooh,
because we're new into our friendship,
I
right?
guess that's true, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what do you know about me? Anything?
I might even know more about you than you know about me.
Because of the Samsung commercials?
Because of all the Samsungies, which I call them. I met you a couple times, and you don't remember meeting me.
Oh, no.
That's not true.
You kind of Hollywooded me.
You wish. Tell me.
the story.
Yeah, tell me. I'm calling bullshit already.
The first time, there's no reason you would remember me.
Okay.
It was 1995
No.
4
No.
6.
No,
Love this
not possible. The story.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So I was a, Shakespearean actor in New York.
By the way, learned this yesterday, Monica. Was
That's
so thrilled.
amazing.
And we're going to
Yeah.
make him do a line of Shakespeare. But,
Okay.
but that's, let's earmark that.
I was in shitty Shakespeare in New York making zero money, like paying to do these shows.
Yeah.
And I had a friend, Laurie Naughton.
Oh,
Laurie
yes.
Shimataro, as she was maybe called back then. And me and my roommate, Mike, in New York at the time, we were all friends from college. We went to LA just to see what how the other half lived,
Sure.
right? And we went to a Groundlings show, one of Laurie's Groundlings shows, and I met Dax outside, and Laurie was smitten
Oh, wow.
with you. She was dating Steve Agee at the time. I
Who we
believe.
love.
Who we love. Agee's the best.
Best guy on the planet.
So she was like, "You have to meet Dax."
This is not...
and I was like,
hard time
"Oh
with
my
this.
God, a guy named Dax." And
Is he a robot?
And you look exactly like you did back then. You were jacked. You had
my
like
God.
tattoos everywhere.
Oh, wow.
And she was like, "He's the coolest guy in the Groundlings."
Oh, my God.
Oh.
This
And me and
story
Mike were like,
Oh, my...
we
Monica
were,
take
hates
us
this story.
back so many.
we were immediately
years.
intimidated
No.
and in love with you.
No, this story is not
And I was
real.
like, this guy's going to be my best friend someday.
Wow, you willed it.
Yeah. And
Was I kind?
yes, you are a great guy.
Oh, good.
Oh, no, absolutely. I don't have a bad story about you before you remember me.
Okay, thank you. Because every time you go through these stories in life, and by the way, I do it to a ton of guests because I've met a lot of the guests we have on, and they don't remember, and
Yeah.
they're waiting with bated breath to find out if the punchline is, and they were an asshole. As do I if I hear a story.
Yeah.
So I'm really pleased that I wasn't a d
Well,
bag.
I texted you when we got Top Gear.
Yes.
Right? And I was like, I am so psyched that you are doing this too. And you were like, yeah, man. basically what you gave me was you remembered meeting me. Because we also met at Wet Dog Moonlek.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
love that
noodle.
restaurant.
And it was you and Kristen, and I was just sitting there by myself, as I always
That's
am.
right.
And I was like, hey, guys. And Kristen was like, hey, you're the best. I love you. This is Dax. And I was like, I met you before. And you were like, no, you haven't.
Just like what you just said now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because you're famous, and I assume I'd remember meeting a famous person. But of course,
But I was
neither
not
of us,
famous
neither of us are
either
famous.
of the times that.
Not true. The Wat Dun Moon Lek, I was already an enormous fan of a hot tub time machine, which I'm sure I told you about
Yes,
when
you
we
did.
met.
You
Yes.
did. Yeah.
That was where, like, I had all kinds of knowledge of you. I was aware of you. I knew you were a great comedian, but I didn't watch a ton of The Daily Show.
Right.
Not because it wasn't a perfect show, but I guess political comedy wasn't who knows?
No, but well, political comedy is not for everybody. And
Right.
Once I got off that show, I not only didn't watch The Daily Show, but I didn't watch 24-hour news channels.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
watch the news at all. I was done. I read the Sunday New York Times, and that was it.
Yeah, you're like, if it was important enough, it'll continue into the Sunday edition. I'll find out what was relevant.
Exactly. I like John Oliver's show.
The best.
We
Makes
love
me
it.
feel good
Yes.
somehow. I don't know how he does it, but it makes me feel good.
That's our favorite show.
Yeah.
We call it church. And I have that opinion. I'm like, I'm going to do a half hour of politics a week, and it's going to come from John Oliver. So if anything else happened, I'll never know. But it's got
Yeah.
such a fun spin that I like it.
Well, he works so hard.
He does.
He works so hard.
The writing on that show is just unparalleled.
Yeah. Well, his head writer, Tim Carvel, was one of the head writers on The Daily Show.
Oh.
And he's
Right.
my
Makes sense.
favorite writer ever.
He's special.
He's
Yeah.
so special. He and John Oliver together, because John Oliver was also on The Daily Show. Like, I got on the show before they were hiring correspondents as writers, right?
Is that what ended up happening? Are you going poo-poo, Monica?
Oh, for the acoustics.
I have to just point out that this is our first human interaction episode since quarantine started.
Yeah,
Rob
we're in
and
the
I
same room.
We're in the same room. Not only that, you're laying on a bed and Monica's laying on a bed. Well, she's
Yeah.
flitting around the room.
We're laying
No.
on different beds, by the way.
No one get
Yeah.
freaked out or anything.
Yes, Rob's
It's not an
happily
orgy.
married. Two beautiful children.
Two beautiful
Talented
kids.
children.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing I would say about that, you have your years wrong. So I totally believe that story happened. I want to mention too, I love Lori. She's so fantastic. And I'm
Yeah,
now
she's
remembering
great.
she's super Boston, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, super
She's
Boston.
from Gloucester.
Dude.
Ooh.
Gloucester?
Yeah, she's from up Gloucester.
Ah.
And she's got like 17 brothers.
Yeah, they fucked
And
you up,
they're
I bet.
fucking, dude, no, you think you're joking?
No.
The fucking Cimitaro boys
Yeah.
are famous in Gloucester.
For fucking guys
for
up.
fucking shit up.
Yeah.
They've all been in jail.
I fucking got beat down in the pocky by
Dude,
them.
I'm afraid of all those kids.
Yeah. Anytime a family had more than two brothers, watch the fuck out. In my town, the third one was always would cut you, would fucking
Yeah.
slice your neck.
Yeah, I'm afraid of families. I'm afraid of high school kids even to this day.
Sure. You are from Boston, like
Yeah.
Lori.
Yeah.
Do you know Ben and Matt?
No.
Dang.
I know.
I thought
know.
maybe you would be the closest to knowing
I
them.
have a one-way feud with Ben Affleck.
Oh,
See, I would've guessed that.
no. Okay,
Yeah.
can you tell us?
Yes,
about
I
it?
can tell you the story. So I hosted the GQ Men of the Year Awards one year.
You did a great job, by the way.
No, I didn't. And it was in the front table was Ben Affleck, Leonardo DiCaprio,
Yikes.
Al Gore,
Oh,
my
what
goodness.
a table!
and
Liberace.
actually to bring it back, Tim Carvel,
Oh, the writer.
the head writer of the Daily Show at the time, wrote the jokes with me.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
And so we had some great jokes, and it was me, Tim, and then my wife was back there. And we got a ride to the place. We got
First class all the way.
first class
wow.
all the way.
Bottle of water in
And
the
so
car.
the second I got up there, my job was to start roasting people.
Oh, wow.
Did
And
they
I
explicitly tell you that, or was
Yes,
that? Okay.
that's what they said. And so I started roasting Ben Affleck
Oh,
first.
no.
Oops.
And Jennifer Garner was behind him, sort of cuddling him. She was looking at me,
Uh-oh.
she's the sweetest person in the world, looking at me, shaking her head, going,
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. And I said, Ben Affleck is here, as you do in a roast situation.
Of course.
Ben Affleck is here. You know, Ben Affleck and I have a lot in common, except only one of us drives a Maserati, but both of us have called out Jennifer Garner's name during climax.
Oh, wow. That's funny.
And you could, it's pretty funny,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Yes.
And Jennifer Garner just went, just shaking her head, going, no, no, no. And he was just staring at me.
He didn't find it funny.
He did not find it
Okay.
funny.
He didn't. He
Uh-oh.
does
so
not.
that-
He's
want
a sensitive boy.
So then I laid into Leonardo DiCaprio. I
just
laid
make
into
sure that-
everybody. And then in the side room, this is where they put Will Ferrell laughing at everything I said.
There's nothing better than when
Yeah.
some
Because-
things aren't working.
Because
right?
yes, exactly. He was doing it. He was doing it to make me feel better, and because he was thrilled that I was failing.
Yeah, well, it's the mirror neurons happening, right? We all live in fear of that moment
yeah.
in comedy, and
Yeah.
it's delicious when it's not happening
And
to you.
Tim and my wife were in the back, just with one hand on the side of their face, like, oh dear,
Oh no!
oh dear. And then I had to introduce Al Gore. I introduced Al Gore. I said that, you know, Al Gore is going to come up here and say some things. And he gets up there and he goes, well, we have survived the barbs of Rob Corddry.
Good for him.
And during this time, while he's talking, I don't know what he's saying. I go back to Tim and my wife and I go, start the fucking car. I have to go back on and do 5 more minutes. And I have the 5 minutes written out. I'm going to end. I have jokes about the Jackass crew,
Oh boy!
who were also there as GQ's Men of the Year.
Of course.
And I said, this is not going to go well.
Right.
So I'm going to say good night, everybody. Thank you. And I'm going to walk off stage and I'm going to walk into my car and I'm going to get the fuck out of here. And they were like, gotcha. Sandy, my wife, was like, I'm gone. I'm in the car. I got all your stuff. And Tim's like, I'm going to stand here. I'm going to watch you. Good luck. Godspeed. And I get up there and I say something about the Jackass guys. And Steve-O goes, sit down, you shit ass.
Oh my God.
Now, why I never thought that my Daily Show cred would have any worth with
It seems like
the
everyone
Jackass
was
guys
hypersensitive.
who everybody loves.
Well, Steve-O's great.
Steve-O's
But,
great.
He's a wonderful guy.
I love all those guys, and I still have no ill will towards
Yeah.
Steve-O. He was deep into heroin and cocaine
Sure.
and alcohol. At
He
the
was at
time.
another event in his head. He was yelling at a
I
different
have
guy.
I have no ill will towards him.
What if Al Gore had gotten up there and said, well, I'd like to thank Mr. Corddry for cooling the environment down with that ice cold delivery of substandard comedy. That was chilling. Can I be your agent for this gig?
Yeah, go ahead.
Robbie, what's up, guy?
What's up, man?
Hey, when I met you, do you remember what you told me?
Yeah, you said vertical integration.
You said that, and you also said that you wanted to work with Leonardo DiCaprio,
Yeah, that's
Ben
true.
Affleck,
True.
Jennifer Gardner.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I made it happen, big guy.
What?
You're going to go on Friday night,
No.
and you're going to take a shit on all of them.
Oh.
Okay? And they will never want to work with you again, but you'll have worked with them technically. You in, guy?
Yeah. how much does that pay?
Oh, it's great. It's great. They're going to
40 grand?
They're going to give 10 grand to your favorite charity. And you're a dick if you don't do that. And if you want the money instead of giving it to charity, you're a dick.
Oh, geez. Well, you described the perfect situation.
Perfect. We'll send the
yes,
car.
I'm totally in.
Great. There'll be water in the
Send
car.
a car that never stops running.
Oh, yeah. We'll tell the driver. So, what I do know about you is you are from Boston. How far out from downtown Boston?
About 10, 15 minutes. From the highest point in Weymouth, Massachusetts, you can see the skyline of Boston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what did dad and mom do?
My dad worked for Massport.
What's Massport?
Massport runs the airport,
Oh.
the bridges, It's like a semi-public Massachusetts organization.
It's like Triborough or whatever in New York.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's a semi-public organization, and he was in charge of pollution control.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The
You
airport.
think that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Right. But Greenpeace showed up at our house one day, and they were like, we would like you guys to sign this pamphlet to clean up Boston Harbor. And my dad, the sweetest guy in the world, by the way, said, well, I can't sign this because it's a conflict of interest. See, for my job, I pollute Boston Harbor. And it's true. Like, his job was not to make sure Boston Harbor was unpolluted. He just had to cover all the pollution that they were putting in.
He wanted to pack that harbor with as many boats as possible, dumping their village and their...
No, he didn't even care about that. He just wanted to keep track of all the dirt going into the harbor.
Wow.
He took no position on the dirt.
And he
just needed
loved
to-
it too. He was like, he really dined out on that.
that exchange.
Yeah, like, you won't believe what happened here at the front door.
Well, as I recall, so I did a movie in Boston, and I had this great driver, Jimmy, and we became really good buddies.
Oh, it's Boston Teamster?
Yeah, and he had just
Dude.
he had gotten out of prison 4 months ago. He
Yeah,
had been in
dude.
for 12 years, and he was from Charleston.
Yeah.
I fucking loved him, but he was
the
breaking
best. They're the
down the
best.
whole kind of longshoreman thing in Boston, which is very still the longshoreman union. It's not. I don't want to say it's mobbed up, but it's very like
No, it's mobbed up. You
Oh,
can
okay.
say that it's mobbed up.
okay. So
Because
I was
the mob has never left Boston.
and it's basically like, yeah, my Uncle Gary, he had me working on 2 shifts. Of course, I'm not even there, right? I'm in the park, and I got 2 shifts payment for retirement. None of these guys worked. They just had like jobs and stuff.
Yeah.
So did your dad deal with that kind of circus a lot?
No, not really. Like, Massport was pretty protected from all that stuff.
Okay.
Like, he didn't have to deal with the mob or anything.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And what about mom?
Mom was just kind of I think a frustrated artist.
Okay.
You know, she didn't know what she wanted to do. She was a mother,
Yeah.
basically.
A house person?
A house person.
A house dweller.
Stay-at-home mom.
I don't know what. Thank you, Monica.
Yeah, stay-at-home
A
mom.
stay-at-home mom.
Stay-at-home person.
What was I trying to say with house?
You didn't want-
house.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Yeah, she was a stay-at-home mom, but she was completely unfulfilled. She was a struggling artist. Like,
Yeah.
she did a bunch of stuff. She actually gave me on my 49th birthday a crocheted kitty cat that she started on the day of my birth.
No.
Like, she
No.
started crocheting this kitty cat.
49.
And it looks a lot like the kitty cat I had growing up.
Oh,
No.
wow.
And so this is a 50-year-old kitty cat.
Wow.
Is it like
crocheted
a
kitty cat.
tapestry?
Yeah, no, it's a tiny,
Oh,
tiny
wow.
little
It would have
like,
fit you when you were
hook-
4.
loop and hook or something.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
Those take about a day or two, generally.
They're
speaking.
not a hard thing to
Okay.
So your mom's a house guy who does loop and hook.
do. She just loop and hook. I don't know what it was,
House
but it
bro.
was a thrill to get.
And brothers and sisters?
I have a brother who's an actor.
Oh, right. I just went over this
Yeah.
with you yesterday.
Yeah.
And he was on
And-
The Daily Show.
That's right.
And he was on
the,
Studio 60.
He was on Studio.
I
Why?
loved Studio 60.
Did you really?
I really did.
I told him that.
Not even my
yesterday.
brother likes Studio 60.
I loved it. And I would
He-
watch it on
It's
repeat.
one of the best pilots ever produced.
It's so good.
Yeah. And then it was just like straight downhill from there.
They just
It was
pushed
the
the yoke all the way in.
Biggest piece of shit ever made. And my poor brother was like, oh God, I'm involved in garbage.
Oh, no.
And Aaron Sorkin has made it and Tommy Schlamme is
Yes.
shooting it.
Mm.
And it's just shit. But he
I
was,
didn't watch it. I didn't watch it.
Well,
so.
no, of course you didn't watch
Well,
it. It
I'm
was
going to try it
garbage.
again. I think it holds up.
I don't think it holds up.
Monica loves it. When do you realize you're funny? What age?
Oh, this is actually a good question because I was really, really, really young.
Okay.
I don't think my brother was born, and we're 6 years apart. So I was at least 5 because I don't think my mother was pregnant. So I was probably 4 or 5. and we were hanging out with a cousin that we had just discovered we had. Because there's weirdness, it's a New England family. Like, we had just discovered that we had this other family that no one ever talked about.
Oh, like a secret side family?
Yeah, like
Okay.
the side of the family that is just shameful.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
wow.
And
Hold on one
what are you
second.
Oh my
are you,
gosh,
why
are
are
you
you
putting
putting
a
a blanket on me?
Oh.
Oh, I don't want this. I don't want this.
Oh, he's trying to make you really comfortable.
get down?
Titties are right in my face, too.
You're getting a little echo from that wall, and I think that blanket will
you
dampen
are
it.
so into this shit.
So controlling about his
Jeez.
podcast.
I am
Please, I don't
really
like that at all.
I demand high
I
quality.
thought you were putting a blanket on me.
on your
too.
shoulders.
like
Me
that you
too.
because you thought I was cold.
I would do that though,
Yeah.
for sure. If I
But
saw you
in-
like shivering,
We're in
on top-
Sedona right now.
Yeah,
Like,
no
there's
one's cold.
No fucking way
No,
any
no.
of us are cold.
Anyway.
I know. Yeah, so 5 years old, and
Oh,
with new
so
family
5 years
member.
old, and we're hanging out with our God. I don't even remember their names.
Sure, that's okay.
They're both dead. I
Yeah.
think.
Oh, great. Well, not
and if they're
great,
not, they're not gonna like this.
but- okay.
And so my mother was tanning
As part of her art,
as, as part of her unrealized
installation.
her unrealized art. And so she's tanning and she's in a bathing suit and she takes her shoulder straps and she puts them down so she's not going to get she's not
Tan
going to get
lines.
tan lines on her shoulders. And I said, as a 3 or 4 year old, Daddy, mommy's ready.
Oh, wow.
And Terry, one of my long lost cousins, just burst into laughter.
yeah.
Like that was like crying, snot laughter.
Oh yeah.
And I was
A
like,
5-star
oh,
joke.
Shit, I'm funny as hell. Can we pause for a second
Yeah.
so I can pee?
Of course.
Oh, yeah. Go
Yeah.
for it.
Absolutely. Are you getting to an age yet where it's hard to start the flow? Yep. Bingo. I compulsively think I have to pee at night before I'm going to bed because I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night. And so, like, the last 30 minutes I'm awake, I will pee 6 times. And like the sixth time, I'm just bearing down on my vas deferens and my whatever else is going on in there to try to get a few drops out. And it's excruciating. And I keep wondering if I'm damaging my prostate.
Yeah, peeing to me has become a nightmare. Like I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'll have to pee, and I'll just start to deny it.
Yeah.
I'll be like, no, nope, you don't. No, you do not.
Not on my watch.
Not
pal.
on my watch. And then I'll just sit there awake, like pie-eyed. I'm like, oh God, you got to get up and try and do it. And I'll just be like, a tinkle, tinkle, a tinkle, tinkle. Oh, a tinkle, tinkle, tinkle. Tinkle, tinkle.
Pop, pop, pop.
A tinky, tinky.
And then a big blast, and you're like, here we go, here we
Big
go.
blast. And then you feel like a teenager again.
And then
Oh,
it
wow.
shuts off for no reason.
No, not for no reason. You feel the reason. Your back of your thighs have almost cramped up.
Oh, my.
From straining
Oh,
and
I
standing.
cramp up so much.
I lean on the wall and behind the toilet. I put an arm up and I physically
Yeah, me
lean. Do you
too.
do that?
Same,
Yes. And I
same,
feel
same.
so weird when I'm doing it. I'm like, I don't want any of my family
Well, I
members to
feel
see
like
that I pee.
no, God, no. I feel like if I lean up against, that relieves a lot of the rest of my muscles.
Yeah, I agree.
And it gives me sure,
Sure.
sure.
But I do always think I'm clearly taking one step closer to the I have to sit down like a woman and pee because I just can't do it. And I think that's not where I want to end up.
I don't know. I mean, is that
Why not?
even going to be easier?
Probably not.
I
No,
don't
we'll probably
think
be
so.
bent over, like with our head between our knees, sitting on the toilet,
Oh.
just begging for some relief.
Jeez.
Okay.
It's hard to be a
Sorry.
man. It's really hard.
It is.
Oh, it's
you would never
so-
understand.
I feel so
Monica.
sorry for you guys.
Monica,
Yeah.
it is so hard to be a
Yeah.
man.
I wasn't going to say
Especially a white man.
it. Yeah.
Oh,
Which you two are.
goodness
Well,
gracious.
We're
It's
in
hard.
Sedona. We have a very high risk of getting sunburnt out here.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right.
Mhm.
Oof.
Our melanin
Oof.
is under the charts.
What
It
what
is
melanin?
depleted.
No, what I was going to say about the comedy thing is again, now this is only in retrospect. I had no idea about it when it was happening, but I desired control so much in my household and it was so chaotic that when I went to school And I could physically control like 5 people that were listening to me and make the outcome predictable by being funny. I could be in charge of the flow of the whole interaction if I was making jokes and they were laughing. Like it felt like, oh, this is predictable. I can predict this. I feel safe. I realize now it was very comforting to be able to steer something at social interactions.
Yeah, I had the same feeling, I get, or a similar feeling at my family's dinner table. We were brutal.
Right.
And, you know, anything went, and it was Boston, so we're disgusting. and
So charming, though.
yeah, and I was the funny one.
Yeah.
For sure. So I kind of ran the dinner table. I was like, it's not your time to speak. It's my time to speak. And now you go, not funny. My turn again. Funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
So were you an okay student?
Yeah, I was a really good student.
Oh, good.
I think I just went to shitty schools
Yeah.
all through my schooling existence. Like my elementary school was garbage and my high school was garbage. And then I went to UMass Amherst, which was a good school, but I just did acting.
Yeah.
And it was a good school in terms of that, but it was like nothing. All my academics were shit.
Was your high school violent like mine? Like, did
Yeah.
you have a healthy
Yes.
fear at all times of getting belted?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Weymouth is about 10 minutes from South Boston,
Okay.
which everybody knows is the Irish, mafia, the seat of crime, basically in Boston. And where I grew up, all of the parents of my friends were from Southie.
They had moved up a notch.
They had moved
Yeah.
up a notch. They were all pipe fitters and, lumberyard guys, and they had made it good.
Yeah.
So they moved to Weymouth, and yet their sons that I grew up with would just go to Southie for like 4th of July and get the shit kicked out of them by their
Right.
cousins.
Yeah.
And then they would come back with a chip on their shoulder and punch me in the face.
Totally. Yeah.
So I just got punched in the face a lot.
And certainly those dads are like, here's what you do. You fucking knock on the door, and when he answers, you fucking punch him in the nose
Yeah,
for pushing you on the bus today.
My poor
right?
dad, because I was bullied, and my poor dad was like, here's what you got to do. You got to punch him in the throat. You got to punch him in the nose. You got to grab their arm. I'm going to show you on your body. And he would grab my arm and put it behind my back in the arm breaking style. And he'd be like, you feel that? And I was like, yes.
You feel the break?
Uncle. Yeah. And he was like, and you do that and you'll be okay. But basically, I just made it in that world through comedy.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember I was in New York. This was right before I got on The Daily Show. I was a waiter at this restaurant called Bodega in Tribeca. And my best friend there was named Eddie. He was a coke dealer who had just gotten out of jail, not reformed whatsoever.
Sure.
And he was like, Corddry, you would do great in jail.
Why?
He was like, you'd do great in jail because you're funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's an asset there.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And so that I don't believe that. I don't believe I would ever, because all of my nightmares are about going to jail.
Well, sure. And I do imagine that during the day you would entertain them and they would love you. And then I think at night they'd make love to you.
They would fuck me.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah.
Because I'm gorgeous.
We all
yes.
agree.
You know, I'm pretty. And
Symmetry is off the charts.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a fucking mirror. It was right in the middle of your face. Both sides are totally homogeneous.
Maybe he was trying to trick you into going to jail.
You think so?
Yeah, like get you involved in a
That's
scheme.
an angle I've never considered. But he was probably like, you want some coke? Later, we'll meet each other up in jail.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, Corey, you should go to Rikers.
You know what you do
you-
well.
you should-
Corddry, why you're not in Rikers, I have no idea.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
So what I learned yesterday on the top of a mountain at 8,500 feet elevation
that's
in
right.
Flagstaff-ish was that you have a history of Shakespearean acting.
That's right.
So was that the initial, like, did you have a two-pronged goal of comedy and Shakespeare, or just you want to do everything?
Comedy.
Never
comedy. After acting school at UMass, I came to New York to be a very important Shakespearean actor.
Like a Broadway.
Yeah. And I did that. My goal, one of my goals is still to do Shakespeare in the Park.
Why can't you?
You
That
could
seems like a
totally
very
do that.
obtainable
I
goal
could
for you.
totally do that.
Yeah.
But I also love my family.
Your goal is like, my goal.
And I don't want to leave my family and go to New York.
My
for
goal is to
6
go
weeks.
to someday a super Walmart. That's my goal.
Oh, I've been to one of those things.
Oh, sure.
And-
sure.
That's not a stupid goal.
No. It's a great goal.
Because there's a supermarket and a Walmart
And
in the whole place.
An awesome
Wow.
supermarket, I'll add.
and the best, best supermarket ever.
And then a carton of cigarettes is still $9 somehow. Still, like they have a tax exemption,
Oh,
like they're
shit.
a reservation.
I bought cigarettes yesterday.
Oh, you did?
I did.
I'm not
I
shocked.
still haven't smoked them.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
I'm proud
That's
of you.
good.
Yeah, that's
Are you
pretty
trying
good.
to smoke?
Am I trying to
Trying to
smoke?
start. It's like his goal
Yeah.
of Shakespeare in the Park.
Yeah, I've never smoked before. I'm trying to smoke.
Seems like Elevation would be a good place to start.
But yeah, so I got to New York and I fancied myself a pretty serious actor. And I did a lot of shitty Shakespeare when I was in New York and basically getting paid nothing. And I remember this one dude was like, "Oh, I get paid. I got $16,000 last year." And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's a mountain of money
yeah.
when
That's
you're
a
starting.
fucking, I mean, I was making minimum wage temping and trying to like bamboozle them into letting me do Shakespeare, on Thursdays
Right.
or something. And then I got this job. That's what I was telling you about yesterday, was the National Shakespeare Company, which sounds a lot better than it is.
It sounds like the best one available
It's
in the
not.
nation,
I
right?
think it is.
It's not the best available. No. It broke away from the best company. And I
It's
don't
like an
actually-
anarchist version of a
No,
Shakespeare.
that's even cooler.
Okay.
That makes it sound cooler than it is. We were driving two 15-pass vans, was towing our costumes and quote unquote sets.
your wooden
Basically,
swords and
yeah,
stuff.
and we just had the best time. Like, these are still my best friends today, these people.
Yeah, that's a bonding experience.
Yeah, it was so great. But we would do 12th Night and Hamlet at community theaters.
Around the nation.
Over half the nation. Like that Midwest line
West
from
of the
Michigan down to, I don't know, Louisiana.
Everything east of I-75.
Yeah, pretty much.
There we go.
There you go. We were at like a shitty rocket college in Florida.
What's a rocket college?
Like a rocket ship college.
Oh, like they're
Like a
designing rockets?
What do you call it? What do you
Aerospace?
Call it? Like
NASA
aerospace?
college.
Nah, it was because it was a community college.
Well, they're
We
offering like
only
a
did-
certificate degree to be a rocket
Yeah,
scientist.
it was basically
Wow.
like if you graduate from this place, you sweep the floors at a
Okay.
NASA facility.
That makes
That
more
makes
sense.
so that's
Manage
the
the
best
recyclables.
place we performed.
Would you please regale me with that speech from yesterday? It's so good. It
So
blew
I
my
gave,
fucking mind.
I gave
it really
Monologue?
did.
I gave Dax a choice of tragedy or comedy.
Uh-huh.
He got this like almost teary look in his eyes, and he was like, "Well, of course, tragedy."
Totally. Why? No one
course
in
tragedy.
comedy wants to watch comedy.
And my favorite play is Henry V. It's awesome. There's this chorus that, if you ever watch the movie, the Kenneth Branagh movie, it's one of the best Shakespeare movies ever.
Really?
Yeah. And Derek Jacobi plays the chorus. And the chorus starts off the whole movie. And that's basically the speech that I
You regaled me with.
regaled you with yesterday.
And remember my conclusion at the end
now,
of it?
what was it?
I was like, I'm so emotionally stirred right now, and I don't know one thing
Really?
you
Yeah.
just said.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to do it.
But can I preface this
Of
by
course.
saying that this is Shakespeare saying, we're about to tell you an epic tale And there's no way this stage is going to do it justice.
Oh, wow.
Right? There's no way.
Lowering expectations right out of the gates. I love it.
It is breaking the fourth wall as Shakespeare does so effectively.
No regard for the fourth wall.
No. The characters never broke the fourth wall in this play that I know of.
Right.
Only because there was a chorus, a character called the chorus.
And their job is to bring you up to speed, right? It's almost like a montage.
Yeah.
Like, here's what
this is the opening speech of Henry V.
Oh, my God.
You really want me to do this?
1,000%.
You have to.
I also want to take my shorts off before you begin.
By the way, this is so embarrassing.
I know.
This is
But
exciting.
I was shocked at how good you are at it. I mean, I'm not shocked. You're super talented. Okay, so the theater, you could hear a pin drop in the theater. Everyone's so excited to see the show. The curtain comes up and a man walks out.
And the man is wearing a scarf.
Of course.
Just let's say I'm wearing a scarf and a suit without a tie.
Perfect.
Oh, for a muse of fire that would ascend the brightest heaven of invention. My kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling scene. Then should the warlike Harry ascend the seat of Mars, and at his heels, leashed in like hounds, should famine, sword, and fire crouch for employment. Pardon, gentles all, for a crooked figure may attest in little place a million. And let us on your imaginary forces work. When we say there are horses, imagine that you see them clopping their proud feet in the receiving earth. Ooh. May we cram within this wooden O the very casks that did alight the air at Agincourt? Oh, nay. And then I.
Oh
then
my
I,
God.
Then I don't know.
That was great.
I already messed up.
No.
That was a paraphrased.
It was perfect.
Henry V.
It was
Monica,
perfect.
can you relate to my reaction yesterday?
Yes.
Which is like, I have no clue. One thing he said, I followed that that we have to imagine there's horses. Nay!
Basically, what he's saying is like,
Anyone.
we're going to
Yes.
act out that there's horses, but you're not going to see them.
Exactly.
So imagine that when we say there's horses, you see them.
Like if it were,
It's a beautiful.
It's
speech.
can I try
Yeah.
this speech updated? Like if Boz Lerman
Yeah,
did
go
the
ahead.
speech.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. Gang, welcome to this show.
yeah.
We are extremely limited because we're just on a flat piece of plywood up
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And we have minimal costuming, but we're going to tell this awesome story, and you're going to have to use your imagination, guys. So if you thought everything was going to be done for you, you're wrong. You're in the wrong show.
Yes.
So get your shit together
Yes.
and engage.
Yes.
And when we say there's horses on stage, there's fucking horses on
fucking
stage.
horses.
And
Imagine
you
that you
imagine the
fucking
most
see them.
kick-ass Budweiser Clydesdale horses fucking pulling that cart through town, running through a crowd, and that's the show you're seeing, motherfuckers. So
That's
put your
the
fucking
best.
imaginations on.
Oh,
You're absolutely
wow.
right.
Is that virtually
That
what they
also
said?
That is
That's
exactly what I was saying.
Oh my God, we may have just come up
Oh
with a
my
piece of
God.
art. Your mother's going to be spitting with the art we just created.
That was beautiful, both of you.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you
That
guys.
was amazing.
Mainly Rob.
But of course, mainly
Yeah,
Rob. I don't
yeah.
know how one memorizes something that doesn't make any sense. Octagon scenarios with God-given wings, birds of flight with chattered things, blue whales sing, carpeted apex. I mean, that's to me what it is.
That's
Just a
not
laundry
true.
list of
No.
words that
Come
make.
on.
If you
come on.
learn it, like I've taken a shake. I was also.
God.
I was
Go
also
ahead.
Summa-
Go ahead.
Summa cum
What-
laude.
what passage?
I'm not doing any monologues here.
Go ahead. Do you know a speech? Do you know a
No, that's what I was about to say. So I would never be able to spit that out, even though I've done tons of Shakespearean monologues. They're not in my brain. So the
Yeah.
fact that you can still do that is incredibly impressive.
I really love it. I just
Yeah.
love it, and I want to keep doing it. Like,
You have a bunch of little things like this, by the way.
Yeah.
In just the short year we've now hung out, there's a bunch of little idiosyncratic things that I really love.
It's awesome.
It is. Would you agree? You have like a very eclectic taste of weird hobbies and
your wife and I were talking this morning, and we
Post-coital.
we both admitted that we were extreme introverts. So I think with being an introvert, right, comes, I don't know, a fascination with little things.
Right.
And I'm a jack of all trades, master of none type of guy. And
Well, even this car
I
show.
know 3 chords on the guitar, but I got the truth. You know, like
I got the
I got
truth.
that. I'm an expert at nothing, but
Yeah. Well, even like, so we're on a car show together now.
right.
Yeah.
And we're on a car show.
And it was a perfect example of how I am a master not of that.
no, it's like you have a very specific obsession with a handful of cars.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're nuts about those
Yes.
few cars, the way I am nuts about cars. But it's just very specific. It's, if I'm correct, it's the Buick Grand National GNX. You
That's
fucking
right.
love it.
That's right. That's
and
right.
and you love the Datsun 280Z.
Yeah, that's right.
Which you recently came into possession of.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
has that thing lived up to your fantasy of owning it? Or is it
Oh,
already
my
just a
God.
nightmare now?
No, I love it. But that's funny that you asked because it's terrifying. When you buy your first old car, you realize that it's hard to drive.
Yes.
Like it's not,
Yeah.
doesn't have power steering and it's a 6-speed.
What you should think about is your current phone and your phone in 1988.
yeah, I guess
That's
so.
the gap
yeah.
in technology.
Yeah,
and
but I
brakes and-
like it. I kind of prefer it if I'm fighting a car.
Well, it's very analog,
You know?
right? And you like records, right? You like analog.
I have,
things.
I only listen to records.
This was one of the very. I can see where we were at on the highway. We were in Colorado climbing this mountain, and I said, "I got a hunch you're into vinyl," and you go, "Oh yeah,"
That's so funny.
and I go, "Have you listened to records with Baba Booey?"
I didn't, but but Baba
You
Booey
wanna
has
go.
asked me 3 or 4 times, and I've been working. I haven't been able to go.
But you would for
Oh
sure.
fuck yeah!
So
to
Baba
go to
Booey
a vinyl party with Baba Booey.
and
Shit.
Stern's always making fun of Baba Booey's love for vinyl.
Oh,
Stern is an asshole for that.
Yes. And he plays all these clips of Baba Booey talking romantically about wax.
Yeah.
And it's always so funny. You
Yeah.
got to admit, it's very funny.
It's
Because it's
so
so
good.
sincere.
It's so
That's
good.
what's beautiful
because
about it.
Howard has no clue whatsoever. And,
No.
and I appreciate that just as much as I appreciate Baba Booey's love for records.
Okay, so you're touring the country in 2 15-pass vans. You're not unlike a Christian youth group going out places.
Not unlike that at all.
And when does comedy present itself?
So I realized that the one thing I wasn't taught in college was auditioning. I was shitty at auditioning. So what I did was I just decided to audition for everything.
Oh, wow.
And so I was in New York and I got Backstage Magazine and I just auditioned for fucking everything.
Yeah.
And I just kept auditioning. And it was like overweight, handicapped black woman. And I was like, I'm going in for it. And every single thing. And then I started booking things.
Uh-huh.
And they were things that I wasn't right for and wasn't good for, but I counted it as a victory. And so then I got a sketch group, Third Rail Comedy in New York.
You're so ahead of your time because I'm just new to the term third rail. That's like now just
But because
becoming
it's
a
a
popular
New York
word.
thing.
Oh,
it's
it
a New
is?
York thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
wait, what is it?
The third rail is the rail that powers the train, the subway,
Oh.
and it's always electrified. And if you fall on the third rail, you die.
Oh,
But it also has come to mean a metaphor for in a debate or a conversation, someone who picks the third rail, someone who's basically
Oh, I didn't know that.
torpedoing the conversation and taking it somewhere that has nothing. I think.
Basically, the connotation that the sketch group was going for was
Electric.
we are dangerous and electric. And they were neither of those things. They were super old. They were way older than me. They were nice people.
Sure.
But I immediately got into it and I was like, oh shit, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Uh-huh. It felt
But
right.
I'm not supposed to be doing it with these guys.
Sure.
So I started a sketch group with the 5 funniest people I knew, and it was called Naked Babies.
Are any of them famous now?
All of them are.
Oh, that's awesome.
Actually.
Who?
Yeah.
Who was
well,
in this?
John Ross Bowie,
Okay.
who was in Big Bang Theory.
Oh,
he
right.
he was like a recurring in that.
Okay.
Brian Husky.
Oh,
Who is-
love him.
Yeah, Brian Husky.
Mhm.
He's in everything.
He was my roommate for 13 years in New
Oh,
York.
wow.
Like we lived together forever. Seth Morris, who is a big writer right now.
Mm.
These are
And
UCB legends.
Then my friend Jeb, who started the Telluride Comedy Festival, and we would always go there. And then he eventually was not in the troupe, but
because of sexual improprieties or something?
because yeah,
Did he steal
because he was
someone's
a
wallet?
rapist.
Okay, well that makes sense.
And
you got to get rid of
he
him.
had to he actually had to run away to Telluride because the Boston Mafia was after him.
Is that true?
That's absolutely true.
Oh my
Whoa.
gosh, how
Yeah.
exciting!
And I met him on that.
Did he have a
Shakespeare
gambling
tour.
debt or something? Well, you don't have to.
No,
expose his
he
family.
witnessed a murder.
Oh,
He witnessed his boss getting shot in the face.
Oh my
He worked at a
God.
liquor store, and one of the Winter Hill Gang guys shot him in the face, and he called the cops.
Oh,
And the cops showed up and were like, "Who's the guy that called us?"
No. Oh
And
my
he was
God.
sitting there, and he actually raised his
no,
hand.
don't do that.
And he was this big fat guy.
Okay.
He just looked around in the crowd, and he saw all these fucking Winter Hill Gang guys. And he was like, holy shit. And he went back to his house in Back Bay, and he told his dad, and he wore disguise for 3 days. He got a fake beard,
Oh
Okay.
my
and he
God.
wore a raincoat.
Wow.
But he was 3 days in Boston, and he moved to Telluride,
Oh my gosh.
and he lost like 150 pounds. This was during the point where I knew him from the National Shakespeare Company.
Uh-huh.
And then he started.
He needs to write a book.
We
this
were
guy.
in New York together. Yeah. Oh my God. We
It
were
should
in
be
New
called
York
the worst
together.
reason to lose weight.
The worst reason to do anything. We were in Naked Babies together, and then he moved back to Telluride and just had us there for the Telluride Comedy Festival. And then the UCB arrived,
Right.
basically. And so we were like the first class, one of the first or second class at the UCB.
No kidding.
Yeah, we got it. It's
Like,
the
who was your
only thing-
teacher?
Armando Diaz was my first teacher.
Okay.
And that's what they call the Herald Form, is the Armando.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Armando was our first
That's
teacher.
amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then my second teacher was Matt Walsh.
Ah.
My third teacher was Ian Roberts.
You never had
And then-
polar.
I never had Polar.
Oh, what a bummer.
Then Besser, I had Besser 4 times in a row,
Really?
which was awesome and a drag
because
he's the best teacher,
Yeah.
but he's also hardcore.
ah,
Like he's not
Very serious.
when you're like right now I'm his friend,
Mhm.
but back then as a teacher, like he was hard to get along with.
Okay.
Yeah,
I had that
and
with
so
one
then-
guy at the Groundlings that I'm now friends with,
Who is that?
Michael McDonald.
Michael McDonald.
Do you know him?
Of course I know him. He is a genius and also
Yes.
notoriously Matt Besser like.
Yes,
Ah.
and then coupled with the fact that he was unequivocally the alpha male of the Groundlings.
It's just
And then
crazy.
I showed up like Joe Alpha Male trying to be the cock of the walk. And he was like, the fuck you're the cock of the walk. So he was uniquely hard on me, I thought.
Yeah.
And then years later, I came to be friends with him and loved him.
Yeah, he's the best.
He truly is.
Yeah, Matt Besser one year called me a rapist based on a sketch I'd written. And Owen Burke, who worked for Gary Sanchez forever, a racist.
Okay.
Wow.
And we were neither of the two.
Well,
Neither of us
ironically,
were-
you are racist and he is a rapist.
Yeah, isn't
he
that
got
weird?
it flipped.
Oh, I
yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Besser has such a because I worked at UCB.
Oh,
And
did you work there?
I was a house manager there.
Oh, shit.
Yes. And I interned many years ago, but then I worked there. And it was always like Besser's coming in and you had to.
Besser's coming
It was
in?
scary.
Like when Ray Kroc would go to McDonald's.
Yes, it was literally that. And not for any of the other three, but only him. It was like everything had to be really perfect. You had to be
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
point.
Wow, he was like a CEO.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Wow.
that's what it was like taking classes with him. But then after, he's really a great guy.
Yeah, he's so funny.
So
Yeah.
how deep into UCB before you get Daily Show?
So Rob Riggle and Amy Poehler.
Total dick, Rob Riggle.
Total dick.
Fucking least
not
stand-up guy, most
do
sit-down guy I've ever
Do
met.
not like that guy at all.
No integrity.
Big fat guy.
Yep.
Big fat
Yeah,
asshole.
never served his country.
Big fat asshole. Hates America.
Yeah.
He and Amy Poehler got Saturday Night Live.
Oh,
And then I don't know what order this happened in, but also Donna Fineglass and Andy Daly got Mad TV.
right.
And Jamie Denbo, I believe. And then me and Ed Helms got The Daily Show. So it just happened like that.
Wow.
Like it happened like Amy Poehler got Saturday Night Live, and then we became like the Groundlings.
Right.
We became
right.
like the place where Lorne Michaels would come to try and get down. And luckily we were just like the first group in there.
Show me the rapist. Where is the rapist?
Oh,
I hear the rapist is
Show
good.
me the rape. I heard the rape sketch is really something.
Where was the
man.
rape sketch? I didn't see
And
it.
the racist sketch is
And where is that? We're gonna need to see that.
I
as
want to
well.
see Owen Burke and Rob Corddry.
And prior to you getting on, you start additionally. So that's weird because that's like an inflection moment for UCB where that becomes huge because of Polar. And then also then you being on The Daily Show becomes an inflection point where it becomes Saturday Night Live. Like it starts launching stars.
Yeah. Well, that was one of those moments where like you're immediately lucky. And I told my daughter this the other day because she started asking about The Daily Show. She's heard me talk about it. This is my 14-year-old. She was like, I hear The Daily Show was kind of a big deal.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, yeah, I mean, it kind of was.
Yeah.
It definitely was.
But like,
It was second only to
I-
Saturday Night Live
but
as
yeah,
far as like
yeah.
prestige.
But
or-
I had to tell her, I was like, when I got on, it wasn't.
right.
And she's sort of into comedy. She's definitely she loves podcasts, like funny podcasts, not yours.
Probably a big armchair.
Definitely
Sounds like she's an
not.
armchair.
Doesn't care about you.
Tell
or-
her thank you
or
for
your
listening.
deal. And she's into stand up and stuff. And
So cool. She,
yeah, it's
awesome.
so cool.
Yeah.
But I told her, like, this is something that you should know is that, like, I was lucky. I
Right.
got in on the ground floor somehow at UCB. And I was lucky to be on The Daily Show. But people talk about luck, but I worked really hard. I worked very, very, very hard.
Yeah.
And I put myself in the position to be lucky.
Well-
and I felt like that was important to tell my daughter.
Yes, and you just said it. What you do is you buy a ton of lottery tickets. So you went on thousands
Exactly.
of auditions hoping that one of those fucking tickets is The Daily Show.
Right.
That's what it is. You just got to buy as many tickets as
Right.
you can.
Yeah.
Did we just come up with the best proverb for,
Say it in Shakespearean way.
oh my God.
Turn that into a Shakespearean.
Okay.
Forsooth.
I'm in.
Forsooth. Do we dare?
Oh.
Do we dare procure
Oh.
the tickets that may give us luxury, destiny? For what do we work? For what do we toil?
Oh.
Is it but luck?
Oh.
Wow.
Man.
That was, yeah. That
Wow.
I'm going to smash this mic onto the ground.
I got to be honest with you. I think after this interview, you're going to get to do Shakespeare in the
I'm going to
Park.
get
Yeah.
so much tail.
And go to a super Walmart.
So I'm wondering, were you calibrating where you were aiming? So you're like, oh, wow, now I'm in this like comedy channel. And now who do you want to be? Who do you decide I'm aiming towards this?
I am definitely and always have been blown by the wind.
Uh-huh.
Top Gear being a perfect example.
Sure.
My agents called me and they were like, you just got offered Top Gear. And I just laughed.
Sure.
I was like, well, finally.
I was
finally.
expecting this call. It's a little late, but
And that's been sort of the thing. Like,
That's great.
I don't have any goals.
that's great.
I do not have a goal. I'm just going to get blown around.
But you've always been like that.
Yes. My goal is very like next thing,
Right. Right.
like very on the ground, earthbound goals. And I don't have these 35,000 feet goals.
Yeah. Have you paid any price for that?
If I have, I don't know about it.
Okay, great. You're not even
know?
evaluating
No, I don't have to. I also I like to create my own stuff.
that. Right.
You
Well, I
know?
want to talk, yes, I want to get into Children's Hospital
Yeah.
because it's
Children's Hospital.
Children's Hospital, because although you're like blowing in the wind, you're also taking the helm and you decided I want to create a show. Was it during a lull? Because
You
I got to
had
say,
con-
most
Oh,
of
my
my best
God.
things come out of a lull.
It was the biggest lull there ever was.
Okay, so I think people need to know, and I could be wrong about this. And normally I would have researched you for 2 hours, but we spent the whole morning together drinking coffee.
And yesterday I was towing you up a hill.
Yes, in a fucking stupid Pathfinder, towing my stupid 1978 van up a mountain.
It was glorious.
It
though.
was. You
glorious.
were.
a pig in shit.
Well, you were just dominant yesterday. You were dominant the last 2 days. You had the perfect vehicle selection, and you drove in a manner
That's
I've
the
yet to
only
see.
thing I'm good at.
But I've not
It's the
seen
only
you
thing I'm
drive
good
like that yet.
Oh, really?
You took the reins off yesterday. Yeah, I was waiting for that fucking house to blow off the back for you to roll that thing.
Yeah, that's what Jethro said too. Like he's surprised that I stayed upright.
Oh, you were in it. You were pushing harder
I
than Jethro.
swallowed
or I.
a filling.
Yes,
My back
Oh,
is
wow.
killing me.
Oh, boy.
You know-
It's killing me today.
Monica, we have walkie-talkies and we're talking throughout the bits, because we're always in our own cars.
Uh-huh.
And at some point in the day, you just hear this like, I have at some point lost the filling and I clearly swallowed it.
Oh, boy.
And just
I
didn't
can't. I've had the whole time. I've had my tongue in it.
deep
today.
in the.
I can't.
Oh,
I
wow.
can't get my tongue out of it.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
Okay, so because I didn't look up each step, in
How
my
dare you.
mind from the outside watching you as a fan was Daily Show, and then Hot Tub Time Machine was a big hit, and you were the funniest part of it. And then I was like, oh, I'm a big time Rob Corddry fan after that
Oh,
movie.
that's really nice.
And I have to imagine that was like one of the peaks, no?
Yes, it was the peak.
It was
for
the peak.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So after Hot Tub, are you setting your sets on like, okay, one step closer to Sandler? Next picture, I'll be the lead of.
No, because Hot Tub was a slow burn.
Okay.
During both movies, we were poised to be the Hangover.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
We were going to be the Hangover, and then we just released with a fucking plop.
Okay, sure. I know how to do that.
Nothing, zero.
But not a plop.
It made $14
Yeah, that's
million.
doable.
At the time, it was nothing. But Hot Tub was a creeper. It was a cult classic. I'd never been involved in something like that. And that was a real thrill.
14's kind of the number where you can do that. That's like the
Yeah,
minimum
sure,
because
sure,
Without
sure,
a Paddle was the same thing.
Well, what year was Without a Paddle?
2004.
2004. So that's around the same time, right?
No,
I
Hot
don't
Tub's like
know.
2008 maybe or something.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know from years.
Yeah. Well, clearly you said you met me in 94. I hadn't even moved to California yet.
Well, when
Like
did
that
you move
Groundlings
to
time. When
California?
you saw me in the Groundlings was like
So
2001.
Was it really?
Yeah.
No.
Yes,
No.
yes.
No, it was because 2001 was.
You saw me in a
9/11,
show? Did you see me in a show or just meet me?
Yeah. No, I just met you outside.
Okay, I wasn't in a show.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Then it could have been 97 or beyond, I guess.
96? Could that work?
That's too early.
Shit.
Yeah, that's too early.
God. But you were a star at the ground.
From the first day you
Will
auditioned.
you please
Level
admit
1
that?
star.
Or at least Laurie Shimataro had a huge crush on you.
Look, I was
Yeah.
the only guy that rode a motorcycle there. That's what
Oh!
made that's what
Yeah,
made me.
people
That's why
like
I
that.
had a crush on you immediately.
That's
yeah.
the only thing that made me stand out there.
You
is that-
looked like you rode a motorcycle.
I was the only guy
you
that
had
could
no
change spark
sleeves
plugs.
on your
Yeah.
shirt.
Fuck those
you had
sleeves.
tattoos for days.
Gotta have
And I
them.
was like, God damn it, this guy's hot.
That's how Jess describes it as well. Our friend
But
Jess
again,
at the
it's
Groundlings.
all relative, right? So in the Groundlings, yes, I was like a 9. But that's because in comedy I
Right,
was a
right,
9.
right.
You know, I would then go on an audition for like a
Oh.
fucking Budweiser commercial, and I was a 4.
It's
Every
so
dude in there was
funny
gorgeous.
You say that because the only way I would ever get a girlfriend was that I was funny. But then I got into comedy and it dried right the fuck up.
Really?
Because everybody else was funnier than me.
I got you.
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
And I was just lonely
Oh,
from
jeez.
1996 to Daily Show. And when I finally met my lovely wife, Sandy.
Yeah. Okay, so after Hot Tub, what brings you to Children's Hospital? How does that come together?
I left the Daily Show and moved to LA because I said I would only move to LA for a show.
Mm.
and it was the winner. It was Seth MacFarlane's first live action show, and it was really funny, but the whole story was about a 34-year-old man whose best friend was a 14-year-old. And we got 6 episodes in before Fox realized, like, we're bankrolling a show about a pedophile.
Sure.
And so they nixed that, and then the writer's strike happened immediately after that. So I was the poorest I'd ever been.
Oh.
I had a 2-month-old daughter. We lived in a rental in Larchmont, paying through the ass, way too much. And then I decided that my days were going to be productive, learning how to be more productive. So I would spend 8 hours a day learning how to be more productive.
Like reading books on productivity?
Yes, or on the internet at least.
Okay.
And I found GTD, getting things done.
Is that McConaughey saying?
No, it was...
He's always
How dare you?
I'm sorry.
Fuck off.
JTD. Get things
No,
done.
Get her done.
Get her.
things.
It's not
Get-
get her
that's-
Is it
done.
not?
That's
It's
La-
get things. Get
No, no.
get
that's
things
La-
done.
That's Larry the Cable Guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
This is
Oh,
get
you
things.
guys are
This is-
brutal, man.
This is get
I'm
things.
talking about my life here, guys.
Productivity.
I'm talking about being productive.
Mr. Corddry.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to give you 3
I
letters.
guess I just
I'm
gotta
gonna,
let this
You
go.
gotta
yeah.
let it go.
I gotta let it.
I'm gonna-
I gotta see it through.
I'm going to give you. It takes me about 10 minutes
Oh,
before I
boy.
get it good too, so it's going to be a while.
You
But
got
basically,
it.
I'm going to
got
give you.
it.
I'm going to give you 3 letters. Okay,
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Corddry.
Go
I'm gonna
ahead,
give you
Mr.
3 letters.
McConaughey.
Are you ready for the first one?
Yep.
G.
Yeah, G.
Okay. T. Okay. Did you get that last one?
GT.
Yeah. D. Day.
GTD.
Okay. You want to know what that stands for? Get
No.
things.
Get things done.
Get tits done.
Get
No,
tits.
hold on. I got distracted by
Get
my own
tits.
message.
Go.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I started getting involved in this whole thing.
So
It
is
was
this kind of
all
like
about-
a landmark forum type thing? Is it like
no,
an
no,
okay.
because
You didn't
that's
go
all
to-
about fucking. Landmark Forum, yes.
No.
Landmark Forum is
No,
all about
It's about
orgies.
recognizing your
No,
story.
I dated a girl who was in Landmark Forum, and it was all about orge.
Really?
It was all about the orge.
My.
I'm gonna look into it.
Yeah. And it was all about like being your best self in an orgy
On your back.
situation. And so I learned all this. And then this whole system is about getting everything you have to do out of your head and into a box or onto paper.
This is a little similar, right, to the thing Stern does, right?
It is the exact same thing.
Oh, it's the exact same
It's
thing.
GTD. He
Oh.
does that same thing. I have this app,
Mhm.
called OmniFocus, which
Okay.
does it.
That you are or
And-
not an investor in.
I wish I wish so bad I was an investor in this. Basically, the whole concept is that your mind is free to come up with ideas. And my daughter was now 2 years old, and she pulled her elbow out of the socket
Oh.
when I was swinging her around.
Oh.
And also beating the shit out of her.
With a
I
mace.
was beating the shit out of her with a stick. And she dislocated her elbow.
Right.
I remember sitting there. My wife was in the room with her, getting it all fixed. And I was sitting there. And I remember this guy banged through the doors with a person like in an emergency situation. Like there was a life flight helicopter
Ooh.
pilot behind her. And the first thing I noticed was that the gurney was tiny.
Oh.
And
no, thank
the
you.
and the IV was everything on it was child size.
Mm.
And my heart was in my throat and I started to cry. And then I finally looked around and we were at Children's Hospital in LA. And I was like, this is the least funny place in the whole entire world.
Yeah.
And boom. And then it came. And then it
Yes.
came to me. I was like, but what if?
Oh my God.
But what if there was a Grey's Anatomy type situation that happened here? Like it was the worst place in the world, but handsome, beautiful doctors just would fuck.
Yes. Yes.
And,
That's so
and
great.
that's when the thousands started to pour in.
Sure. They backed up the
Oh man, they backed
the
up
love truck.
the many hundreds truck. And those tens of hundreds started pouring in the front yard.
And then how many seasons of that have you done?
We did 7 seasons.
But it moved, right? It was like originally you did it for the internet.
We
and
did
then-
it with 1 season on the internet, and then we were at Adult Swim.
Right. Did you have anything to do with that Bachelorette show? No, that was Ken Marino.
Oh no, that
No,
was
that
Ken.
was
That's
yeah.
pretty great.
Yeah, it was great. What was that called?
was it?
I think.
Kristen did it too.
Oh, did she
Yeah,
really?
yeah, 'cause
And
her
I
and
know
Ken.
Ryan did. Ryan does everything Ken does.
That's right.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
they're
right.
really tight.
Yeah, the Veronica Mars.
Yeah,
base.
yeah,
That's
that's
where it all
right.
comes
Burning
from.
Love.
Burning Love.
Good job,
Yeah.
Monica.
I did an episode of it because we're all very insular. We're incestuous. group.
Well, and I got to be honest, that's where there have been times before I knew you where I was looking at you and I had a monicum of jealousy. I was like,
really?
yeah, I was
That's
like,
weird.
I was like, Corddry's a comedian's comedian. Everyone loves him. All comedians love him. He works with everybody. I'm not invited to that party. Why?
I think I was intimidated by you, maybe.
Well, I hope it's not that you thought I was. It's just a terrible comedian.
No.
Okay.
No,
good.
God, no. Oh, my
Okay,
God, no.
good.
If anything, from my tales of meeting you at the Groundlings,
Well, I
with
had
Laurie
no idea.
Shimatara, I was pretty taken with you, if anything.
Okay, so you got picked up for a second season for Unicorn.
Yeah.
You work with Walter Goggin, who we've all become completely obsessed with.
Oh, my God, man.
And you
He's
said he
the-
just delivers, right? In real
he
life?
is the best. I was supposed to be in Greece right now
With him?
with him.
Oh, that's
Like-
that trip was going to be with.
yeah,
oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
God.
yeah. Me and my wife had rented a house in Greece on Antiparos, the island, and he and his wife had a house right down the street.
Oh, wow.
And we were just going to spend a month and a half while our kids were at camp.
Oh, my.
my.
You're
Yeah.
kidding? It was going to be adults only?
I just almost started. So at one point, you gave me a cup of coffee. I drank it. I went back out to evac
Sure,
in my,
sure.
in my trailer.
I just want to tell everyone that we're on like a 12-day shoot all through Arizona and California and
For
whatnot.
Top Gear.
For Top Gear.
Right.
And Rob elected to be in an RV the whole time. Mind you, it is fucking 110 outside. And there's no way you can get that
God,
thing cooler than 90.
So hot in there.
and I had to beg you
Oh.
yesterday. I begged Rob. I'm like, at least, I'm like, come live in our house that we rented.
Yeah.
And you're like, not a chance. And I'm like, okay, well, please park at least your RV in the fucking driveway so you can come in and take a real
That was
shower
appealing.
and stuff. Yes, it was.
I'm going to take a shower very soon,
Please
too, by the
do.
way.
I think as
Oh,
soon
I
as this-
cannot
Please.
wait. I
As soon as
haven't
this
taken a
ends-
shower since I got here.
You should definitely just, as soon as this ends, walk right into Monica's bathroom, evac number 2,
Yeah,
and then
take
hop
another
in that
evac.
shower. Okay, so you went out to the RV to evac, and then what was it?
Oh, no. I was looking at the calendar to see what we had to do tomorrow for Top Gear.
Yeah.
And I saw it, and it said Antiparos, Greece.
Oh.
Today, and I started to weep.
I
In
bet.
I was. It's,
That sounds like a once in a lifetime opportunity
Yeah,
with the
well,
kids
we-
at camp.
Luckily, we couldn't cancel it, so we've got it for next summer.
Oh, cool. They just
Oh.
kicked it down
They
the
kicked it up the road,
That's
and
great.
and hopefully we'll have a vaccine by then.
You will.
I can't wait. I'm so sick of this.
Yeah. Okay, so the Unicorn is on CBS?
CBS.
CBS season 2. I'm such a super fan of Walton, from Vice Principals and Righteous Gemstones. Like in Vice Principal, his acting's off the charts. And,
Yeah.
and on
So
top of it, he's a comedic genius.
He's a beautiful man.
Is it great working with
Yep.
him? Okay, good.
Yep. He is the most earnest, heart on his sleeve guy I've ever met. He makes me cry all the time.
Oh.
He will at table reads get up and make a speech, and he'll be like, "Now I just want to say something. I'm just like a guy from the South. I'm a poor man from the South. And I just want to say right now that I love everybody in here. And I love everybody in this gorgeous cast. And I love everybody on this team. And we're all, me and Michaela Watkins, just like sobbing.
Oh, what a leader.
Omar Miller, just like not crying because he doesn't cry.
Sure.
But he's there like nodding, like he's got no time for it.
Yeah, that's
It's just the best working with him.
And then you're going back to that. Are
Yeah.
you nervous about that?
No,
Because you and
not at
I, we
all.
have we're on different ends of the scale
Well,
of nervousness.
Yeah,
About
I mean, I was nervous about Top Gear, and it's so funny because Top Gear is outdoors.
entirely.
I'm less nervous about Top Gear since we've been doing it.
We're almost entirely in a car by ourselves.
That's the thing.
It's a party for me. I've had so much fun.
Yeah. Yesterday, Dax was like, okay, by the way, we're all going to cross the finish line. And Jethro, I am going to ram your car.
Oh my God.
And Jethro rammed your car first, right?
No, second.
Oh, you did?
It was beautiful. I rear-ended him. He, for some reason, he forgot. We had all talked about it like 10 times. It was very clear that was the
And I
plan.
love that you guys left me out. Thank you.
Well, I couldn't catch you. You were such a stud yesterday. You were way ahead of us. We were supposed to be
I
somewhat...
did pick the perfect car for
You did.
what we were doing.
You crushed.
That's
And then
the only thing I'm good at on that show is picking cars.
You've done it 3 times or
Yeah,
something.
it's all I'm good at.
So we crossed the finish line, and then Jethro slows down, and I just barrel into him in my big
Oh my
van.
God.
Smash him in the back, spin him around.
was
He
insane.
immediately revs it up, dumps the clutch, does a 360, and nails the back of my van with the back of his car.
Wow.
Like boom, no hesitation.
Oh, we were
Double
all
whammy.
in such. I'm still like, my back, the small of my back is ruined
Well-
from hitting my head on the. I didn't have a seatbelt for most of the thing until I found the
Oh God.
way
Oh,
that you
goodness.
click your seatbelt into.
Yeah.
So for most of the day, I was just smashing my head into
Yeah.
the roof.
Safety third, big time.
Totally. Dax is the king of that show, and I'm so glad.
It's his dream show.
I'm so glad to have you.
Well, when you got me to the top of the hill, you have to admit,
Oh,
because you and I had to talk
God,
earlier
dude.
in the day, and you were having a rough day.
I was.
And we had to talk, and I was worried about you. And then I
Oh,
got out of the
thanks.
van after you told me the top of the hill, and I saw you getting out of your truck, and I was like, well, who was this?
Who's this
You
fella?
were smiling
I
ear
was,
to
I
ear.
was.
You were laughing. You couldn't believe your truck did it. And I was like,
I couldn't believe my truck pulled your
Up a mountain.
8,000
Oh my
pound
God.
van.
yeah.
With such
Probably the
ease.
first time you've ever towed a vehicle, I have to imagine, out of a stuck situation.
Well, yeah, out of a stuck situation.
And
Absolutely.
so your first time trial by fire on the side of a mountain in fucking lava
on the
gravel.
side of a very deceptively easy but steep mountain.
Let's keep the
Let's-
magic alive.
yeah.
It looked steep as fuck.
It looked steep. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and so your first rodeo, you fucking pull this enormous van up this steep
Well, that's
hill.
what I like about this show is that I definitely have enjoyed challenging myself, right?
Yeah.
When people toss around that idea of challenging yourself,
Mhm.
they don't really know what it means. Like you've got to have an idea of what challenging yourself means, right?
Yeah.
And for me, challenging myself means taking on challenges that are at the top of my ability but still doable.
1% under.
The limit
of
exactly.
your
No,
ability.
yeah,
Yeah.
right, exactly. And I think that this show is way above that.
I've seen 2 episodes of the show, and it works so well.
Yeah,
there
I
is such a
hate-
symmetry
I
to
hate
the three of us.
disappointing you. I really do.
You don't disappoint
I
me.
know. I hate disappointing you in that it's not as much my bag as it is yours. You know.
But
Well, it's never going to be anyone's bag as much as it is Dax's.
I know, it's
so
true.
you can't.
Jethro seems to be.
Well, Jethro too.
Well.
Jethro is a genius. Dax,
He's a fucking automotive
Dax
journalist.
is the guy who will do anything.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes me scared,
Yeah,
but yeah.
Jethro is the encyclopedia.
Yeah.
And I'm just the guy who's happy to be there and who loves cars, but is way out of his element.
But you need all 3.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
so much.
I mean-
there's so much geometry to the. When I watch the episode, I go, well, one thing's for sure. Even if you don't like cars, we have the exact right cast. Like, it fits so perfectly. That's so hard to do, to cast 3 human beings and to have them all have different angles that all come together perfectly. It just, that's hard to get.
So do tell people real quick a little bit of what the show.
Okay, so really quick, if
people don't know.
anyone doesn't know, so Top Gear was the single biggest television property in the
In
world.
the world, yeah.
1 billion viewers at one point, I think.
Yeah.
Such a global phenomenon that they decided, let's do a Top Gear America, which was maybe they started 12 years ago. And my good buddy Rutledge was a host of it. And
He's so sweet.
he's the
Yeah.
sweetest fucking guy. And then that went away. And then and then it switched networks maybe. And then there was a whole other cast of it that only did 1 season. But anyways, it's this very tricky show that they've been trying to emulate. And what they're trying to emulate, they thought it's the premise or the construct of the episode, but it was those three guys. There was a magic to those three guys.
That's exactly
That's very
what it
hard
was.
to replace.
Yeah.
And I would argue, I'm not saying we're as good, but I've seen 2 episodes and I'm like, by God, we hit the lottery. And
I
it's
think you're
just
right.
luck. It's what you were saying. It's fucking luck. We've all been on a bunch of shows. Sometimes you hit the chemistry jackpot and sometimes you don't. And we did.
I think you're right.
I'm excited to watch it.
Well, Corddry, I love you. Well, guys, live from 4,000 feet, Sedona, Arizona, we thank you for joining us on this road trip for Top Gear America and Armchair Expert. Rob Corddry, what
I
a
love
pleasure.
you guys. This is the best.
I'm glad we found a way to work together on our day off.
I know. Yeah.
I adore
Thank you.
I adore you too. Thank you guys.
And now my favorite part of the show, the fact check with my soulmate, Monica Padman.
So we're back from Sedona, Arizona.
Sadly, although
Sadly.
the weather's much cooler here. I kind of liked that.
I got out of the car and I was like, it's freezing in Los Angeles.
Yeah, big time. I rolled down the windows as I was coming into town, and because I was behind you guys a little bit. So I got in at like 10:30 at night, right?
Sure.
And it was downright chilly.
Ooh, crisp.
And I loved it. I had the windows down. I was like standing next to the freezer with it open.
Yeah, Sedona is quite hot.
It is.
And it did spark some conversation about could you live in a place like this?
Well, I think I have the same reaction every time, which is I get there and I go, hell no, this is Hades.
Yeah.
And then after 3 days, I'm not noticing nearly as much. And then I
Totally.
swear by the end of the trip, I thought it had cooled down, but it was the same.
I agree. You
Yeah.
acclimate.
Yeah, acclimate.
And I'm a child of the sun.
Mm-hmm. You're also a child of the South.
Correct. Those are connected.
Mm-hmm.
And I like a heat.
Yeah, you like it. I think of all of us, you're the most
Probably.
predisposed to enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, evolutionarily speaking, I am from a hot culture.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about that, but yeah, another good layer. You've got the cultural and the biological. You're
Yes.
from India, biologically speaking, and you're from Georgia.
One time when I was in high school, I was walking to my class with a boy, and I said, "Oh, it's freezing out here." And he said, "Oh, go back to India."
No.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
He was joking,
Yeah.
but it hurt
Sure.
because I didn't want to go back.
And you can't go back. You're not from there.
I wasn't exactly.
What if he's like, why don't you go to India for the first time then?
Well,
I mean, I know you had been,
case-
but it was likely you hadn't.
yeah,
I have to imagine a good percentage of the first generation kids.
yeah.
They don't go there. That's an expensive trip.
I know that's a good question because when I run into Indian people,
They've generally been.
yeah,
But you're also running into, not to be categorical, but
Yeah.
probably other upper middle class Indian people,
yeah,
you know?
that is true. Though,
Because there's a nice subset in Detroit that
Oh.
are not thriving. They're
really,
low, yeah, there's some lower income.
okay. I really don't know.
We don't
so
know.
I
We're
should
talking
say
about it. This is literally anecdotal traveling the country, right?
this is anecdotal, but based on my parents and the people they know and stuff, I feel like they're either professionals,
Yes.
or entrepreneurial types.
Uh-huh,
So
like-
they
like
run hotels,
convenience
or let's
store,
go
Dairy Queen. Which we hit,
gas
by the way.
stations. We had Dairy Queen, and it was
I got to tell you, I got home from work and it was the nicest surprise
Oh,
to have
good.
both my favorite treats in the freezer.
I got the banana split per your rec, and it.
Well, my insistence almost.
Yeah, your insistence. But you weren't, to be fair, you weren't there, and we all made the decision to get the banana split blizzard.
And no one
is-
was upset either,
No.
right?
You get it with the Reese's peanut butter cup.
It's just a great base. You can build on it, but there's no better base.
It
Base.
is so good.
Mhm.
And I got the mini, the child size.
Yeah.
And it was the perfect amount.
Yeah.
It really was. I felt so satisfied, but I didn't feel sick.
Yeah. I got only a few. It's always only a few, but it's loud, the few to me. I had a few
Farts?
people yelling at us for being on, quote, vacation and being irresponsible. And I responded, which I shouldn't do. And I said, I was working. Monica had to be there because of the podcast must go on.
Correct.
We're in a house by ourselves. I'm getting tested every. Oh, someone was mad I get tested every other day.
Why?
You're getting tested every day, and there are doctors that are not getting tested. And I'm like, well, I don't think I'm stealing a test from a doctor. I'm sure the doctors can get tested. So I think they're wrong about that. And then secondly, just everyone slow down the fucking shame machine. My God, you don't even know what you're talking about.
Let's pull it back.
We are as responsible as people can be moving around the country. I have to go. Oh, well, some people are mad we went to Arizona as if I picked. Like, that's where we were shooting.
Look, by the way, when Arizona was said, it was like, oof, that's That's not.
Got to be extra careful.
We got to be extra careful.
We're wearing masks. We're disinfecting. We're not going indoors with people.
Correct.
And everyone that just lives to shame people on Twitter, or even like, so, we posted the brother and I have this sweet Planet Oats campaign going on right now.
Yeah.
And again, everyone loved it. But of course, I just heard the one person that's like, well, you blew the whole point of it by sharing the ice cream. So I write, I've been quarantined with brother for 3 months.
That's
so
right.
Just fucking lay off.
Yes, everyone who was with us on vacation we've been quarantining together.
And tested. We all got tested before we left.
That's right. That's right. I understand the fear. I don't really understand the shame, but I do understand the fear.
Sure.
But we can just feel good knowing we're doing the right thing.
I know, but it aggravates me. You know what it is? It's being the one family on the block in Axford Acres whose mom was divorced, and we were the only people, and we were the scumbags because we were divorced.
You don't like
I don't like shame.
Yeah.
I don't like people feeling fucking better than others or that they're doing it right. I hate it.
I know.
Hate it.
I understand.
Yeah, it's triggering. I also want to say this. If you comment on my page in an attempt to shame me, I will block you because I don't like being shamed. So I don't ever. So if you demonstrated to me once you want to shame me, then I don't need to stick around. Shame on you, shame on me. Oh, it works. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So I don't want to shame on me. So I will block you. I don't doubt you care, but that's the policy.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm being petty, aren't I?
Look, this is just human.
I'm a real person.
Yeah, you're a real.
And I think about your mean comments later.
Me too.
And I would love to be able to read the sweet, lovely comments from Armcharies, who I love to interact with. I don't want to give that up because of the 1% who are blowhards.
But listen, remember when people said mean stuff about me, and you were like, "Oh, you just like could so easily dismiss it."
Yeah, I'm like, those people are jealous of you.
Right.
They want to be you.
I don't think is true. Well, they want to have my job. I don't know that they want to be me. That's
no,
I
think they want the whole thing.
Anywho, when you're a third party, you can see, oh, it's silly.
Yeah.
But when it's you, it really
hurts. It does.
And
because I am fucking doing. Here's another thing. Someone bitched at me about my take on when we were really honest, and I was like, look, my instinct is to say it's whoever's most vulnerable's responsibility to be most protected.
Right. I knew that would be a little bit triggering. Yep.
But I said, I'm doing everything perfect. Just because I feel that way doesn't mean I'm acting irresponsible. I'm doing everything by the book and doing it right.
You are.
And I feel that way. We want to start lying about how I feel.
You came around a little bit though, because I was saying sometimes you don't know. You don't know how your interaction with one person who doesn't seem vulnerable will end up affecting a vulnerable person.
You're right. But I didn't come around in that. Then I decided to start wearing a mask. Like I'm already doing everything that can be done. So there's nothing, I didn't need to come around to anything in that sense.
In my
behavior. My behavior needed no adjustment.
That's right.
Yeah. And this
that is
person
true. I've seen it. I can say I've seen it with my eyes.
I took the time to thank, I'll give him a shout out right now, Scott, RAD on Top Gear. He takes it really fucking serious. And on a set,
yeah,
it's very inconvenient.
Oh yeah, I bet.
We got to wipe down the cars every time someone gets in and out of them. It's a fucking pain in the ass. And Scott is keeping it meticulous.
Oh, that's great.
I pull him aside and say, I just want you to know, I really appreciate how serious you're taking this.
That's nice.
And I'm not even fearful of it, but it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And he's nailing it.
Wow.
Now, Craig,
awesome.
I love you, Craig. My director, Craig, I love you. We have a great relationship. But sometimes I have to tell him, get that mask back up.
Okay.
And Rob, I'm giving shout outs. Let me just give more shout outs. Rob, producer Rob, you like the show. That makes me so happy. He'll tell me sometimes about the episode. And he's bulletproof with that mask. So Rob, keep it up.
Okay.
Craig, we can do a little better. A little better. I love you. You're the greatest. A tiny bit better.
I really appreciate that you're keeping it tight there. But wait, going back real quick to you're a real person and these comments and stuff.
Yeah.
When we were in Vienna,
Uh-huh.
that's when I saw one comment that was mean about Monica and Jess. Monica and Jess had just started.
Oh, right.
And there were a few mean comments. It was on Armchair's post. It really hurt my feelings, of course.
Sure.
And then I looked, and one of them was this girl, and she was like, I don't care for Monica.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw that she was following me. And I was like, what the fuck? You don't get to follow me if you publicly say, I
Yeah.
don't care for Monica.
Yeah.
So then I said to Kristen, I like told her this, and I said, so I'm going to block her. And she said, don't do that. That's childish.
I know. I got to say, Mom she's a step ahead of us as far as being able to handle.
Well, okay.
She's more patient. She's like, you know what? I'd rather have someone stick around and maybe they end up getting infected by my message.
But what I'll say, no,
Okay,
yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Sorry.
It is her birthday tomorrow, so I want to agree with you. But the point of this is she said that, and I still blocked the person.
Okay.
And then Kristen then said, I'm sorry if that sounded harsh. I just don't want those people to affect you.
Okay.
And I said, yeah, I understand that. But then recently,
Sure, she had a little tidal wave.
she did.
Yeah.
And it was really affecting her.
Yes, it was. I think the reason that round affected her is she got nervous that her messaging wasn't as clear as she was hoping.
Yeah.
And so it really worried her that maybe she had done. I think that's why it affected her so much. But like, I don't care for Monica. You haven't done anything wrong. There's nothing for you to.
But it's a very personal show.
Yeah, it is.
Incredibly personal.
Yes.
And for someone to say, I don't like it.
I just don't
or
care for them.
I
Yeah.
don't like her.
Yeah.
It's
not a character in a movie.
Exactly. It's painful to hear. And the point is, I'm not saying Kristen did anything wrong. I'm just saying when it's you feel it. And when you're outside, it's easy to say, oh, just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But you can't not worry about it. It's your whole being.
Yeah. I mean, the one where I was finally, I think I've said it on here before, but the one I was finally had to admit, like, I can't do it is at like 10 in the morning, I read some guy wrote that like, I'm broke and I live off my wife.
He said that you do that.
Yeah, this was like
Oh my God.
probably 7 years ago or something. And in my mind, I was like, well, that's just patently false. So that guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. But then at like 6 p.m., a full 8 hours later, I'm driving to the Hanson's house on the 101. And in my head, I'm like, I mean, I owned my house before we even met, and she didn't own her house. She didn't have any equity. I'm literally defending myself.
I know.
And then I said to myself, you're powerless over this.
Yeah.
You could pretend it rolls off your back. It doesn't. I was thinking about it 8 hours later, preparing my defense to a stranger who doesn't know what they're talking about.
I know. It's very human.
And then I hear guys, even Corddry was telling me in the car, he's like, that shit does not bother. And I believe him. He's like, I'm the type of person that's like, I don't believe the compliments and I don't believe the burns. And they just, none of it. It doesn't elevate me. It doesn't lower me. And I'm
Just
like,
doesn't affect
I
them.
believe them.
Yeah.
And I'm very envious.
Yeah.
But I am not that way.
Yeah. Same.
Now, here's where I'll take your side of the argument that we generally have, which is I'm like, you're in charge of all your own feelings, like it or not, right? And you're like, no, people can injure you. They can intend to. And this thing is, I hate shamers.
Yeah.
They piss me off. I think shame's the big enemy of humans, and I think they're perpetuating shame.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes people be shamed. If I'm like hitting my kid in a pose, shame me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I feel okay about shaming racists. I do.
Yeah. But I don't. Oh man, this you'll probably choose not to air this, but let's do it.
Okay.
A huge article. I haven't even read it, so I really shouldn't be talking about this, but I've been downloaded by Jess and my friend Tim Lovestead.
Okay.
That the LA Times did an article, I guess, about groundlings being racist and UCB being racist. And so what they've done, to my understanding, again, I could be totally wrong if I'm misrepresenting the article. I'm very sorry. But to my understanding, they basically just went through and looked at what the percentage of people who had made it to the main company were. I guess there was an issue with there's no photos on the wall of some of the Black alumni. That's a big issue.
Oh, that is, yeah.
I totally think that's an issue. There's a bunch of things that are issues, but I am very opposed to analyzing the outcome of something and then asserting what their policy is. Here's my example. You could start a tennis club
Mm-hmm.
or a golf club, and it could be open to everybody. There'd be zero exclusion. You could even run ads in ebony.
Mm-hmm.
But if you then go see how many members of the tennis club are Black and it's 0%, you can't conclude that that was intentional or that that was the goal. And so you can't say how many Black people are attracted to try out for the Groundlings or would want to be a part of that white group of comedians. You know, they don't know how many people entered to get to the number that they're making a judgment on.
Yeah.
I don't think you can reverse engineer the outcome of things all the time.
I agree.
Sometimes you can,
Yeah.
but not blanketly. I have had people add up every guest we've ever had,
Yep.
put it up there. Mind you, their math is wrong. Like someone say that we have less than 1% of Black guests.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true at all. And I would argue you're on all 230 episodes and you're a person of color. So you can't just act like it's so I have that issue. But more than anything, it's like, you don't know how many people we invite. You don't know who we invite. So there's no conclusion for you to draw because of the outcome of this.
Correct.
That bums me out.
So with our show, this is what's hard. There is a smaller amount of famous celebrities
Yeah.
who are Black than there are white famous celebrities. There's just a smaller amount. We do get requests about people who
No one knows.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that gets very tricky because
Then you're like chicken or the egg.
yeah, because I'm like, well, no one knows this person. Just like if a white person of that same level, I would
Yes.
pass on as well.
Right.
But now I am like, look,
Maybe we should.
how is this person ever going to get there?
Yeah, we should correct a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to course correct a little bit.
Okay, so that's an area where sure, yeah, we should probably have people of color who aren't as well known as
A-list celebrity.
Yes, but I am going to add to this, and this is something Kumail said to us. I asked him off the record. I'm like, look, man, I'm inviting a lot of Black folks and no one's coming. What do you think it is? And he said, well, you're white. That's part of it.
Oh, Kumail, yes.
And so what's funny is I follow Talib Kweli's podcast and his posts, and he regularly has people on that we've invited, that I know I've personally invited.
yeah.
And they're on his show, but he's Black.
Yeah.
And I get it.
There are a lot of factors, and for everyone to consider, this is not so easy to just assess. But I am committed to doing our part to at least
Adjust the bar by which we. Yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
I think it's also a domino effect because I do think like 50 Cent said it when he came on. He was like, well, now they'll come on because I'm on.
Yeah.
You know, and
But also it's something completely inexplicable. I challenge anyone to tell us why. In quarantine, all of a sudden, all the Black folks we were asking were mostly saying yes.
oh, I know why. I know exactly why. It's, again, part of this entire problem. There's like 6 A-list Black celebrities and they work nonstop.
yeah.
And
You're right,
that's
I
a
watched-
problem. Once America's decided like, oh, this is someone we like,
Yeah.
then they just get hired and hired and hired. They're not like making room for new people.
Yeah, Kevin Hart. There's not a
Oh my
busier
God.
human being on
He
planet.
has 0 time. I think that's why. I think it's still part of a little bit of this problem.
So great, I accept that.
Yeah.
But here's another inexplicable thing. Out of nowhere, we got like 6 of the top 12 female singers in America.
Sure.
I don't know why. They all had albums come out during quarantine. They all
Yeah.
it's just inexplicable.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, all these wonderful female artists
Yeah.
were available.
Yeah. It's true.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor.
You dodged a bullet, but quarantine's not
Oh,
over.
I'm still after you, Taylor. Tay.
T.S. Eliot. Do you think his name was Taylor Swift Eliot? Holy shit. Would your fucking head would do a 360 if
it
his
was
name was
Taylor
Taylor Swift Eliot?
Thomas Stearns Eliot.
Bummer.
Oh,
Lame.
so close. So close. Okay, so Corddry.
Bob Corddry.
What a fun episode that was.
It really was. It was really nice to be back in the saddle.
Yeah. I like him a lot.
He's a sweetie pie.
I like him.
He's a good
so
dude.
much. Okay, but he does have beef with my boyfriend,
Which one?
Ben Affleck.
That's good beef to have. That's like elevating.
Okay.
Like if what if I was in a public fucking battle with Jack Nicholson and he was in it? That'd be
Well,
flattering. Because I
for
assume Nicholson doesn't know who I am.
Right.
But if he was mad at me in public about it,
Well,
that'd be a feather in my cap.
I just don't want my friend and
Well,
my boyfriend to be in a fight.
That makes sense.
Because we're all hanging out a lot.
Yeah.
So. Okay, you said a carton of cigarettes is $9 at Super Walmart.
Well, that's not true.
A carton of Marlboros.
Oh, mouthful.
Marlboros at Walmart is approximately $24 US.
That's the national average? Because I know each state has different tax. Like cigarette prices vary greatly. In New York City, I think a pack of cigarettes is like $11 or $12.
Oh.
And then in some states, New Mexico, it's $4.50.
I wonder if this is New Mexico because it says a carton of Marlboros at Walmart is 280 pesos or approximately 24
Oh my God,
US.
In Mexico. Yeah, that's...
Well, are Walmarts in Mexico?
Sure, they're everywhere. They're in Canada.
Okay.
We might have to scrap that figure. Let's just scrap that figure.
Why?
I think it's state to state.
I'm leaving it.
Okay.
Okay. So
no one go into Walmart and demand that they only have to pay $22.
24.
24. Okay.
Or 280 pesos.
It would be even worse if you demand to pay in pesos in the States.
Okay, he did National Shakespeare Company and said that it's like not that good.
Okay.
And then I was trying to remember because I did used to know that.
Okay.
Like what were the best ones and stuff. And I texted my friend Angela, who I went to college with, to see if she remembered, and she didn't. So we've retained no information is the takeaway.
That sounds normal.
Accurate. Yeah. The Royal Shakespeare Company is like the best.
Okay. That's ringing a bell.
Yeah, that I know. When I studied abroad in London, I saw a Royal Shakespeare Company play.
Oh, was it good?
Yeah,
It was.
I think.
I can't get into it, man. I wish I could.
like-
I'm a Philistine.
Well, if you took a class, you would be more appreciative of it because you'd have to do it, and it
Yeah.
is so hard to do.
Oh, I don't think I could do it.
No, you definitely could because you start breaking it all down and you do start understanding what it means, and then you can just convey that emotion. Then it's kind of beautiful.
It's impressive as hell.
Yeah.
But this is one of the worst qualities about me. I've never done anything in life that I wasn't instantly pretty good at.
Oh, wow.
I have never suffered through a learning curve other than reading.
Dyslexia.
Other than reading.
Yeah.
And I guess writing. And then I was like, I'm done with that. I'll just do the things I'm naturally inclined to do.
I wonder if anyone does something that they have zero aptitude.
I think people do. I think people
Really?
get piano lessons and they're not good at it, but they just take much longer and then they do it. It's very impressive.
I would
but
like to take piano lessons.
I would too. But I can tell you right now, it'd be too hard for me and I'd quit. I know I would. And I can't read
Wow.
music. I tried to do that. I played the trombone in 6th grade. And man, when they were teaching those notes on that fucking silly fence that you put the notes on, I was like, this is the stupidest fucking shit in the world. Why aren't they just writing?
You call it a fence?
Think about it. Why doesn't it just say A, B, C, D? Like every good boy deserves fudge.
Every
Why
good
why
boy
are there
deserves
fucking
fudge.
symbols? Put the goddamn A. It doesn't make any sense.
You're still translating it onto the instrument though. So
you are, but why not just use A, B, C, D? Because it is chord, right? They're
Yeah.
notes. Every good boy deserves fudge.
Yeah, and
why
FACE.
why are we then translating that to a hieroglyphic? That's preposterous. And you'll say, oh, so you can put it in tempo and what
there's
pitch, but you can
stuff.
still do all that with A, G, E, F. You know, they've made it so abstract for no reason, in my opinion.
All right.
What if I just tore down the entire?
Oh my God.
What if there
Wow.
was radical reform after
You're
this?
really
I'm pissed
shining
about
a
it.
light.
By the way, the thing is so complicated, the fucking hieroglyphics. Might as well just put the fingers on the guitar chords. I mean, that would be less complicated than the stupid swoopy fucking ampersands and shit they're putting on there.
Wow.
Those fucking symbols only exist in music.
the
They
single
do that.
note and
You
the
can learn,
double.
I think they call it tablature or tapiture, that you can learn guitar like that without the notes, but they are the notes and they call it tablature or something.
Huh. Okay. Well,
I got a lot on my chest today.
wow, you really do. I feel differently. I feel that I'm not naturally good at really anything.
Okay.
And
Other than being smart and funny.
but I work really hard and I really
Mm-hmm.
like the feeling of going from 0 to 10 on something.
Yeah, you get a lot of pride
Like
out of it.
my back tuck.
Right. Mine is all extrinsic. I only get a good feeling when I'm doing it well and someone notices.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah. Okay. The term third rail.
Yes.
Okay. So you said you thought it had to do with conversation where someone would kind of,
Launch as like kind of a self-defeating or a
that would kill the conversation.
or
take
take it in a direction that has nothing to do with
Yeah, which
what's
I
on the
think you
table.
mean derail.
No.
No. Okay.
I've been hearing this term third rail just recently. Like over the last 3 months, I hear
Yeah.
it pop up on like political shows mostly.
That's right. It is a political term.
Okay.
It's a metaphor for any issue that's so controversial that it's charged and untouchable to the extent that any politician or public official who dares to broach the subject will invariably suffer politically.
Oh, so then it must still be rooted in the subway system where the third rail is electrified and will kill you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, that's cool.
It's cool, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know it
Yeah.
either.
I feel like you and I tackle some third rail topics.
Oh, for sure. It's pretty much exclusively.
We should
This
change the
podcast
name.
could be called Third Rail.
There must be one called third rail, right? So let me look while you get to your next fact.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, when was Hot Tub Time Machine? It was 2010. He doesn't know dates
At all.
at all. Okay, so he said Landmark Forum is all about fucking and orgies.
Mhm.
Okay, I feel obligated to say I don't think that's true.
No, it's definitely not true.
People go there to learn about themselves and overcome.
And build a toolbox.
That's right.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I've never taken it, but Jess has done all of them and he's told us a lot about it.
Yeah.
And everything he said, I'm like, yeah, that holds. That's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
It gets a lot into the story you tell yourself, which I think
Exactly.
is, worth. Okay, right. So there is Brooklyn Deep Third Rail with Nick Beaton, Third Rail, Third Rail Talk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's
it's very
we're
pop.
not on anything new at all.
Okay.
I can't imagine at this phase where there's 800,000 podcasts or whatever we learned that there's any combination of words that isn't taken.
That's true. Good luck.
Good luck, everybody. I got to take this motorhome.
Okay. Gosh, Dax is in the middle of buying a motorhome.
Guys, I've been, this makes me so nervous.
To
you know?
say, okay, we don't have
No, but I'm going to do it. I've been looking at motorhomes for 10 years.
You have.
Literally 10 years. I go on RV Trader and I just comb through ads and I know way too much stuff about the different companies.
Yeah.
And I found one that just perfectly met our needs. And it's got bunk beds and it's got the big engine so I can tow my trailer. And I am excited. It looks just like something Waylon Jennings would be in.
Sure.
And in fact, I'm going to make it a tribute to Waylon Jennings, the whole bus. It's going to be the Jennings Express or the Waylon Express.
Uh-huh.
Do you know the first song I'm going to listen to it when I drive it?
The one about Native Americans being yellow?
Nope.
Which one?
On a Greyhound bus, I've been traveling these highways, been doing things my way.
Oh, wow.
I fucked that up somehow, but
Well, I have fingers crossed.
well, you'll be a beneficiary of this purchase.
I'm so excited. Okay, so last fact.
Last fact.
You said the original Top Gear, biggest TV property in the world, correct? You said 1 billion viewers. The number I have found multiple times was 350 million per week.
Per week. That's
But then
insane.
somebody else said that's unreliable. But that's the number I saw a few times, so we'll say it's accurate, and that's crazy.
It's bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only reason I knew about that is 60 Minutes did a great segment on it about 10 years ago.
Mm.
Oh, another update, house cleaning.
Ooh.
I'm still very embarrassed about it. So I'm not saying that I was by any means right, but at least I figured out. Like, I don't mind being wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but it would scare me to think I inflated 2 billion to 6 billion.
Okay.
At the LAPD, it's been driving me fucking bonkers.
Okay.
Now, here's where the comments are glorious. A couple different people said, I think you're thinking of the NYPD budget, which is 6 billion.
Aha.
So I'm like, okay, at least I heard 6 billion for a police budget, and
Got
I'm
it.
not just losing my marbles.
That makes sense.
That scares me
I get that.
to think I'm that off.
Your marbles are gone.
Yeah, they will be gone soon, but I don't think we're there yet.
No, we got a ways to go.
Okay, great. Let's
All right.
let's use our marbles together.
Okay. Let's
Okay.
mix our marbles.
I love you, Rob Corddry. Thanks for doing it.
Thank you.
All right, love you.
Love you.